It's finally happening. It's finally happening. It took Papa Lakan to walk in there and say, Jinshi, when are you going to man up? When are you going to literally man up, put him back on, go out there and do your damn job? It kind of does seem bold, which does really make me wonder just how much Lakan knew beforehand. If he did figure it out or if he's always known. I assume that he knew because, again, that whole meeting with Jinshi, Lakan, and Shisho, it felt like that was a meeting with Jinshi himself. It was with the brother of the emperor. So I do believe he knew who he was, but there may be an aspect of him not really knowing exactly that this is, yes, Jinshi the eunuch. That Jinshi the eunuch is this person. Either way, it was a really great scene walking in there saying basically, dude, what, you don't care about my daughter? He's like so mad. He's like, that's my daughter out there and you're not doing nothing. Oh, you know that it's Shisho? Oh, you know that much? But then what are you doing? Are you ready? Are we going to go? Let's go. I'm ready. Which is really great because it is that aspect of like, I think of everything that was the biggest like mistake that this other side made. And I'm still kind of debating if Shisho's involved. I really still am. I'm kind of curious if he's actually involved. Again, one of my predictions is that this is Shenmei. This is Shenmei's doing. She's doing her own little thing over here. That I think that's why she is intoxicating all the individuals that seem like they're higher up in this clan. Like she's got them all like just on something. I think she's manipulating everybody for her own gain. Like this is what she wants to do. And she's tying up everybody in the process. I think there might be a good chance that Shisho might know that there's an involvement here, but Shenmei's doing something on her own. Either way, I think their biggest mistake, Shenmei or Shisho, their biggest mistake was getting Maomao involved. Because I think in the end, like they were started pointing out back at that meeting between Jinshi, Shisho, and Lakan, it really did feel like Lakan is a neutral party. There's a lot of factions within this entire higher up in this empire, and Lakan is sort of a neutral party. They were kind of pointing out the idea that you don't get involved with him. Don't make him mad. Don't get involved with him. He's going to see right through you. This is a strategist. This is their famed strategist. He's going to figure out something to make your life miserable. And again, I think the moment that they captured Maomao, that was their biggest mistake. And they didn't know that. Very few people, I think, know who Maomao is. And to have that mistake made, now Lakan is literally backing what is the actual prince. We're finally going to stop dancing around that whole thing. We're going to finally come out and say, this is the Moon Prince. This is him. This is Jinshi. This is not Jinshi the eunuch. This is the guy that heads the empire. You're you're screwed. You're literally screwed at this point. But no, him going over there, whew, like it literally just did the whole pose perfectly. Like just over here, he's literally disrespecting Jinshi. Well, if you want to play this role, if you want to be the eunuch, let me talk down to you like a eunuch. That's what it feels like. When he comes in that room, he's like, literally, my son doesn't come in here and spend time with a lowly eunuch. You don't even know if that's a man or a woman. Like, literally, he's spitting in Jinshi's face. If you want to play this role, let me spit in your face. Let me treat you like you're the role you are. Oh, wait, you figured it out? So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You have literally the ability to keep this from happening. You let it happen. Like even Jinshi in his mind is going, yeah, he's right. He's right. I can't really argue with this. He's totally right. This is my mistake. I had all the ability to do this, but I've been sitting around comfortable. And then it finally comes to that point where, yes, Luomen walks in. I love Luomen so much. He walks in like, that was kind of mean. I'm a eunuch too, but I didn't do it for fun. Calms him down. You get a little bit angry whenever you get upset. You're a little bit anxious here. You're kind of going off the rails here. If you want something done, be respectful. Say it properly. Tell them what you want. You came in here for a reason. What is it that you want? Again, I think initially Lakan's coming in there and saying, you want to be a eunuch. You let this happen. Let me treat you like a eunuch. Because you're not going to do what I want you to do. Almost like it's egging him on. Whereas Luomen's literally saying, just tell him. Go over there. Formally do it. That's what I want. Let me go after him. Now, I'm kind of curious if Lakan will be involved. I would assume that Lakan's going to be involved. But it is one of those things where he's literally asking Jinshi, please, let's send out the Imperial Guard. And you're the only one, as the prince, the crown prince, you're the only one that can do it. Please do it. Go get him. Let's go. Let's go. Which still makes you think it's going to take some time. Like, it's going to take some time to kind of put them together and go out there. And again, I'm really kind of curious if this is going to even be a war. I'm still kind of curious if Shenmei is even that much involved with Shisho. Mainly because it doesn't seem like it's shown us much signs that Shisho is even doing anything. And again, it could just be a fact that he's doing a good job of hiding it. But it just, from a narrative perspective, it doesn't feel like we're really kind of showing him doing anything. We're spending so much time just showing Shenmei, we're showing this clan itself, but we're not showing Shisho. So it makes me believe that he's not. And again, that could be on purpose. The idea that he's trying to keep separate. He's sending word to Shenmei. Shenmei's handling all this stuff. I don't know. But massive hype, though. Massive hype, though. I love Luomen coming in there. At first, I was kind of like, why is Luomen here? Like, I understand Lakan walking in there. Again, because thematically, with what they've presented with Jinshi the eunuch, he's allowed to walk in there. Again, he walks in there and addresses him as lower than him. Even his son, this is lower than you. But Luomen, that's different. Again, he's a doctor that was brought into the rear palace for him to just walk around casually. Now, I think the answer to that is that his son, Lakan's son, is the one that invited him. It kind of implied the idea that he kind of whispered in Goshun's ear and said, like, basically, I'll be right back. I got something to kind of settle him down. And he runs out the door to go get Luomen. But that time frame to get him and get the carriage there, that was really quick. Unless he just knew that his father was coming there, and thus he went out to fetch him at that time. But I would assume that's the case. That's why Luomen was there, is because his son brought him in to bring him in. Uncle, no, it's not like that. Literally, Luomen's the only person that Lakan even respects. This is the person that basically saved me. The only person I was ever acknowledging. Again, that very calm nature of Luomen. God, I love him so much. Luomen's so freaking great. But yeah, like Jinshi's whole conflict in that entire scene was really well portrayed as well. The idea that he wants to do something, he keeps stalling. He knows that his stalling is causing this problem, and he can't anymore. Again, he's been running away from his role for a long time. They were getting into that with the previous episode. I've been running away from this for so long because I felt that that's not my role. I ran away from it because I believe what the people said. But now I can't run away from it anymore. I have to do something now because stuff's going down. This is a rebellion. They're going to come after us. Even Goshun's saying it. Doesn't matter how respected he was. Doesn't matter how much the Emperor Regnant cared about Shisho. It doesn't matter. This is unforgivable. This is an act of rebellion. He tried to kill the prince. Time to go. We'll see, though. Anyways, other than that last scene, my gosh, this episode, I just went right into it. Like, hey guys, what's up? This impressions of this episode. I love this show so much. Things are going down. I did feel like for a bit of this episode, as much as I love the Loulan stuff, my gosh, can we finally call her Loulan? I don't know. I like Shishui. Shishui's a really cute name, but it's harder to say. So I think I'm gonna switch to saying Loulan. But yeah, all the stuff around Loulan was really, really fantastic. And again, confirming a lot of stuff that we've speculated for a long time, like the whole hiding from people, like Li Shu and stuff like that. But I did feel like this episode was a little bit of kind of just confirming the scene. It's more of kind of what we had in the previous episode of kind of showing the other side of the battlefield before things seemingly will go down. And I'm kind of curious how it's going to sort of resolve. The way they're portraying Loulan, I think this might end up ending with the idea of hopefully Loulan stepping up and stopping Shenmei before something goes down. Because again, how Maomao has portrayed it, she wonders if they have told any of the families. Because in the end of the day, what their actions are doing now, everybody will be punished. This entire clan is going to be punished. Do they know? That's a sad reality. Loulan will be punished. Yes, Shui will be punished. They will all be punished. And we're not talking a slap on the wrist. We're talking heads roll. So it's like, I kind of wonder how this writer's going to handle this, because characters, again, that we've kind of grown to love, like Shishui/Loulan, might end up on the chopping block. And that's why I sort of think that if this writer ends up playing this a little bit safe, not that I would be mad about it, if this writer plays it a little bit safe, it will come down to an idea of stopping Shenmei before it happens. That this will all be blamed on Shenmei and nobody was involved. And I think that's sort of what they're opening the door up to with that scene of Maomao going in the room and seeing all the families under some sort of drunken state, some medicine that's kind of making them a little loopy and locked up. Again, I think this is her. I think this is Shenmei. And again, it could come down to the end of the day, not a war, which again, that's sort of what I kind of want. I don't want this to be a war. I want it to turn into more of a strategic overthrowing. The idea that it doesn't have to turn into a big battlefield of people shooting at each other and slicing and dicing. It can just come down to simply, How do you overcome it? How do you dismantle it from behind? That's a lot more interesting. How do you stop Shenmei without the war happening? It's much more clever in that regard. And I think that's what they're kind of setting up for. But yeah, let's go through the episode proper like I typically do. I'm just going to run forward. Opening up with, the scene of Maomao and Kyo being caught by Shenmei. Again, very interesting right here, of course, is the confirmation scene, at least for Maomao. We all knew already. A confirmation for Maomao that, yes, we have Loulan show up, and that confirms for her that, yep, this girl has always been Loulan. I was the one that was fooled. And yeah, clever way of stopping the mother from basically killing her. Yeah, this is the apothecary I told you about. You were looking for a new one, right? This one is actually 30, but she's got a stopping agent. She's figuring out this elixir of immortality, which apparently is something that Shenmei has been looking for a while now, which, yeah, a lot of these leaders typically are looking for. But yeah, that's when we have Maomao going back and reflecting on the fact that she's been fooled this entire time. Again, that she's always thought that Shisui was this different person. Very interesting to kind of have her actually admit that it makes sense. It seemed like Loulan has been avoiding everybody. And again, confirming right there for me, she was avoiding the Empress Dowager. Oh yeah, over here at the spa place, she was avoiding Li Shu. Again, I seen that. It stood out to me, the fact that she just turned and walked away. She was avoiding Li Shu. Everybody that would recognize Loulan, Shisui was avoiding because it would have been called out. The only person that she didn't avoid was me. Which I don't blame Maomao. Again, it's just like the whole Jinshi situation. I believe that Maomao purposely goes out of her way not to think about things. And whenever something catches her attention that she wants to solve, that's when she gets into it. But there's a lot of cases of sort of status of people that she avoids thinking about. So when it comes to things like Jinshi, when it comes to things like the concubine, she would want to avoid thinking about it because it'll get her in trouble. It's going to cause trouble for her. Yeah, she acted like a normal girl. I was fooled. Yep, you were a girl. But that's when we get into Suirei specifically, which is really interesting. They go to the fortress, and Maomao is talking to Suirei. She asks her specifically, you are the half-sister of Loulan, right? And she admits that yes. We get into talking about how she came to be, that apparently a while back, Shisha was just a branch manager of the Shi family. Due to his talents, he was adopted into the family, and that's the point in which he got his name, and then also he became engaged. But interestingly, they note the fact that Shenmei at that time, even though it seemed like he was engaged to her, at that time, Shenmei was sent off to the rear palace. So this is the point in which she would go back there as a concubine. And then finally, when she came back out as a gift, I like how they know that, as a gift. Oh, here you go, have your girl back. Aren't you pleased to have her back? It just sounds so bad. By the time that Shenmei came back, yeah, Suirei was already there. Now, the way this is all worded, this is from Suirei's perspective, so I don't think it breaks my theory that I have around her. I just think at this point, it seems like Shenmei and everybody else was fooled into believing that this was the case. That by the time that Shenmei came back, bam, Shisho has a kid and a new wife. Oh, welcome back, honey. Don't worry, I had a baby with this girl. Again, my theory currently is that, yeah, Shenmei was sent out from the rear palace and given back to Shisho. But I think at the same time, or a little bit before, that doctor left with the baby that, again, was rejected by the emperor. That baby was sent out, and Shisho took the baby. And then right here, claimed the baby was his. And it could be that Shenmei was never told that. It could be that Shenmei was never told that. Now, Shenmei could know, she just never told Suirei, because she doesn't want Suirei to believe that she came from the rear palace. Just go along with this idea that she was this illegitimate child and should never have been born. And it could be that Shenmei hates Suirei specifically because they failed, and she blames the child. Back here, when we were in the rear palace, we had this plan that this would be claimed as being the emperor's son. They rejected the child, and thus the child is useless. You failed your role. You should never have been born. Everything's up in smoke. We failed our mission of infiltrating at that time. That could be. But anyways, yes, from Suirei's perspective, she just believes that, yes, by the time Shenmei came back, I was born from Shisho, and she's always hated me. She despises me, doesn't want me around. It's super sad, and she's grown up with that. It's horrible. They never said what happened with the mother. Now, she does say that Shenmei sent out Suirei and her mother from there and had them become servants. It never says what happened to the mother after that, but she was treated like a servant. And at some point, again, it seems like this whole plot went into effect and they dragged her back into the situation. But yeah, a little bit of touch on here about Loulan and what she thinks of Suirei, which I thought was super sweet. Apparently, Suirei's original name was Shisui, and because, yeah, it seems like Loulan likes Suirei so much, she decided to use the name of Shisui when they were back there. So that was obviously what caught Suirei's attention, was the fact that she used that name, which I thought was super sweet. We get a little bit of brief shots of, yeah, seemingly Suirei, after being beat by this horrible, horrible woman, Loulan coming over there and, you know, taking care of her wounds and stuff. I'm like, oh, it's so freaking sweet. This girl loves her. It just sucks because, yeah, that later on when we get into Shisui's perspective / Loulan's perspective, it does seem like she purposely stayed out of situations because she didn't want to agitate Shenmei more. Which, again, for a lot of kids in an abusive situation, that's usually what they do. Mom's mad, don't say anything because that makes her madder. And then she directs that towards me. I don't want to make her more mad and make her direct that towards me, so I'm going to stop. I'm going to sit here and do whatever she says. Just lock out emotions, do what she wants. Robot. Robot mode to avoid damage. Go to robot mode to avoid damage. And it seems like right now she's regretting that because she's always allowed it to happen. And again, even with Suirei's getting beat. Don't say anything. Just get angry when she's angry. Get upset when she's upset. Laugh when she's laughing. Smile when she's smiling. You know, don't do anything when she's beating the crap out of Suirei. But then when Shenmei leaves, go over there and tend to her wounds. You know, patch things up. And yeah, after so long, it seems like this is all kind of bottled up to the point where it's not fixing. Even though I thought that I could not do anything and it'll fix, it got worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. She's gotten so bad. And again, I think that sort of opens the door to Loulan. I'm not sure how. Hopefully, Loulan can put a stop to this. That she's going to be the one that puts a stop to Shenmei. It does seem like, based on the beginning of this episode, it does seem like she has an ability to step in there. It didn't change things in the situation, but she was at least able to kind of pivot the situation. She was able to sort of sway Shenmei from doing something that she didn't want her to do by offering something else. So it does seem like she's able to step forward. It seems like she's able to step before Shenmei. Can she do enough? Can she stop the situation? That's the question mark. And it could literally come down to the idea that it does seem like Loulan does love her people. She does love the clan, and she might see that what Shenmei's doing is going to lead to death. How can I fix it? Okay, I have an option here. I have a way of fixing the situation. I wonder if it'll turn into the idea of Maomao creating an immortality potion that ends up just knocking out Shenmei, and then Loulan and Maomao wrap her up and ship her back to the Empire and say, here she is. Here's your rebellion right here. That's actually not far. I could totally actually see that. That would kind of feel a little bit like a little bit of a womp womp, but at the same time, it would be fitting. It would be fitting for a Maomao. She would probably require Maomao to test it first. And yeah, technically, Maomao could get around a lot of that stuff, because again, her resistance to a lot of poisons. Anyways, with that whole discussion with Suirei, Maomao finally connects all the pieces that there is a rebellion happening. She's specifically connecting that this is Shisho's movement, because again, it does seem like from her perspective, what Jinshi's doing with the whole administration is going against Shisho. They haven't really laid out exactly what that is. That could be the idea of, yes, the whole eunuchs. A lot of the things that they seem to be kind of getting rid of, which seemingly is mostly Anshi's decisions. So it's kind of an oddity there that Maomao would be connecting the two, when a lot of the changes that are happening is because Anshi's doing that. Anshi wants these changes done. So I'm not sure exactly where she's going with that whole thing. And yeah, Maomao for a brief moment thinking about who is Jinshi again. How do you end up back there? Hey, how did you get back there with not being a eunuch? Well, they had to inspect me like 3 times, blush. A brief moment of seeing Suirei actually act like a woman. She had this little brief moment of blushing. But yeah, Maomao realizing at some point, yeah, it seemed like Jinshi was trying to tell me something. It could be the brother of the emperor, but that doesn't match up. I'm kind of curious what she means by that. Now, technically with the whole thing with Otto, it doesn't seem like it gives us much of a proper time span there. But that's sort of where I'm leaning towards. So I don't quite get why she believes that the age doesn't match up. I don't know. But yeah, even though there's a threat of a war coming, she's trying to figure out who Jinshi is. She's got this big reveal about Loulan. Everything's going to crap. She found some research notes from the previous apothecary that was trying to find the immortality potion. So she gets super excited. It's so stupid. Like everything's going on. And literally the notes. Forget everything else. I have a bunch of cool notes to read. Like, even later on when she's thinking about, like, the dangers that the families are going through and everything like that, it's like, but this is a good job because I have these research notes and this guy's really clever. I'd be curious if they actually get into who the previous one was. Now, they said they executed him, so I don't think it'll be anybody that we knew before, but it could be something that was claimed to be executed. But yeah, other than that, I think I covered everything else. All the rest of the stuff I pretty much covered earlier at the very beginning of this entire thing, but yeah, it really broke my heart, everything around Loulan and her really kind of struggling over trying to, again, appease her mother. She had no position to really do anything. Her mother was very scary, terrifying her. All she had to do was just kind of be a doll and make no decisions, just keep quiet. But at least it does seem like despite that, with a lot of cases like this, the children would probably be more brainwashed and thinking that that is their role. But it does seem like at least for Loulan herself, she has realized at some point, yeah, this wasn't right. This whole situation was not right. I was put in that position that she herself got uglier. It wasn't my fault. And I think a lot of situations like that, it could turn to the children believing that it's their fault. So I'm kind of relieved the fact that it does seem like she acknowledges that the actions didn't change anything and that she might be able to do something. That's the key thing there, is that hopefully Loulan can actually do something. Because again, I don't want her to get executed in the end. When this whole stuff goes down and Shenmei gets taken down, I don't want her dying along with her stupid mother. Don't want that. Anyways, I think that's everything. Hope you guys enjoyed my video. As always, looking forward to the next week. For those that don't know, it does seem like one of the later episodes will be delayed once again. So it does look like the last episode is going to be like kind of barely creeping into the summer season, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, it is what it is. It's another broadcast conflict. It's not necessarily a production issue, so don't think that. Don't get fearful there. The quality's going downhill. I'm assuming this whole show's already done production a while back. So yeah, on June 20th, apparently, the 47th episode will be delayed by a week, and so that's the delay. Other than that, everything else is going by schedule, so just giving people a heads up there. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit the like button down below, comment, let me know what's on the episode. Additionally, if you like this content and you want to support channel more, I have links in the description below. Greatly appreciate it. But until next time, y'all take care.